So I am from the Boston area. I'm from north of Boston, but right now I live in Paris, in France, and I work in a lab there. But moving to Paris has been kind of a cool experience because it's not that different from the U.S. So it's nothing out of anyone's comfort zone really, but the similarities make the differences between like French people and Bostonians and just Americans in general that much more noticeable. The first thing I noticed, like when I was walking down the street, is that even here in the Northeast of the U.S., we have like smiles on our faces a lot of the time, and sometimes it's not true. But in France, hardly anyone has a smile on their face when they're walking down the street. They just look very, very stern, and it makes it really intimidating to approach them. I actually think that's how they stay skinny, is just like bitterness and cigarettes because they smoke a ton. And yeah, I mean, other things are like they take a lot of vacation. They have like 6 weeks or something of vacation, and when you talk to them, they just think, oh well, that's like natural. And here in the U.S., it's like, oh, I get like 2 days sick leave, like that's awesome. Whereas them, they just cannot live without vacation. The other thing is classic French, like everyone eats baguettes all the time. If you're walking down the street, normally you like buy one baguette to make it home and the other one you're just like munching on. So they're just eating bread all the time, smoking all the time. A lot of the stereotypes really are true. And then other things they take very seriously are really they take like the French language very seriously, but they also aren't very good at creating new words. So sometimes they'll be speaking French and then suddenly they'll just say Wi-Fi or like parking or something like that, like words they just don't have before. So it's like it's kind of jarring when you hear it. You're like, what? And the other thing is that I find really strange is that they can actually, when they speak English, they can do a pretty good American accent. Like sometimes in work, people come and be like, hello, hi. And I try and tell them like, that's like a really good accent. You guys should keep trying to do that. They're like, no, 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 it's ridiculous. And then I just start cracking up because like they just don't believe that they actually sound like legitimately American. But other than that, I think what was really interesting to me is just how many similarities they are. You know, I mean, it's like a developed, westernized country. People look more or less the same. It's like pretty diverse, just like infrastructure and stuff like that. And most of the time, people are just concerned about the same things. Like they want to do well in school or work, and they just want to spend time with their families, their friends, or things like that. There's definitely kind of an air of looseness about it. I mean, like with so much vacation and like limitations on work, people kind of tend to kick back and relax a little bit more. You'd never be able to tell it because, like I said, they always look bitter, but they actually are like a pretty laid-back people. So people have like wine after work or during work, and it's a pretty nice lifestyle. I've actually grown quite accustomed to it, and I think just coming back to the U.S. kind of made me realize that. But